Before he was a UFC champion, Charles Oliveira did something that shocked the MMA world. He tapped to strikes. But what happened next? No one saw coming. On December 2, 2017 at UFC 218, Charles Oliveira suffered one of the most heartbreaking defeats of his career, a TKO loss to Paul Felder. The fight started in Oliveira's favor, as he showcased his world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu, threatening multiple submission attempts. But as the fight wore on, Felder began to turn the tide with relentless pressure and punishing elbows. Eventually, Oliveira, overwhelmed and clearly in pain, began tapping to strikes, an act often criticized in the fight world as a sign of mental surrender. To make matters worse, the referee didn't initially recognize the tap, allowing the brutal ground and pound to continue until the official stoppage. This moment exposed a vulnerable side of Oliveira, physically tough but mentally fragile under pressure. Yet instead of letting the defeat define him, Oliveira used it as fuel. He redefined his mentality, improved his striking, and developed the grit needed to survive wars inside the octagon. That low point became a pivotal turning point, sparking his transformation from a submission specialist with inconsistency into a complete, dangerous, and resilient fighter. Just a few years later, that same man would become the UFC Lightweight Champion, winning fans over with his heart, ferocity, and ability to bounce back from adversity. If you're enjoying the story so far, hit that like button and subscribe. MMA Thread brings you the rawest UFC updates 3 times a day. Don't miss a beat. Over the years, Charles Oliveira has stood toe-to-toe with some of the most dangerous strikers in UFC history. From Dustin Poirier's boxing to Michael Chandler's explosive power, to Justin Gaethje's violent leg kicks and bombs, Oliveira has taken damage from the sport's most feared finishers and still emerged victorious. Naturally, fans expected one of those big names to top his list when asked, "Who's the hardest hitter you've ever faced?" Surprisingly, Oliveira didn't name Gaethje, Poirier, or even Chandler. Instead, he pointed to a lesser-known name, catching everyone off guard. This answer wasn't about hype, it was about impact. It reflected something deeper, a fighter's unique memory of pain, timing, and how their body reacted in the chaos of combat. Oliveira's response showed that true punching power isn't just about knockout highlight reels or big names, it's about how it feels in the moment. What makes this revelation even more interesting is how it underlines Oliveira's maturity and growth. He's no longer just a highlight reel submission artist. He's someone who analyzes fights deeply, who's been through battles that test not just the chin but the soul. His answer speaks to the respect he carries for every opponent and the wisdom he's gained from a career that has seen both the bottom and the top. Oliveira's journey has been full of unexpected twists, and just like his choice for hardest hitter, it's a reminder that greatness isn't always obvious until you look deeper. From tapping to strikes to wearing UFC gold, Charles Oliveira's journey is a lesson in resilience. For more stories like this, make sure to subscribe to MMA Thread and turn on notifications. We've got 3 updates daily to keep your fight IQ sharp.